Hello, and welcome to today's episode of Her Version. This podcast is dedicated to sharing stories of struggle to triumph, a platform that allows individuals to tell their truth in order to inspire and uplift others. For those of you that are new to this podcast and like content like this, make sure you follow, like, and share. I am your host, Sabrina Victoria. Let's jump right in. Had my volume up way too high on that one. Jamming earlier. Thank you so much for joining us today on this episode of Her Version. The Her Version platform is built to educate. We are here to educate the females of the world. Today, I am speaking with two amazing women named Anitra and Jan. Okay, they are here today to talk about a community that helps over 10,000 women every year, a community that I wish I would have known existed when I was 20 and pregnant with no husband. Healthy Mothers, Healthy Babies is located in South Florida, and we are here to talk about the benefits of linking up with this community or a community like this in your area and what is available for mothers out there struggling. Welcome, Anitra, and welcome, Jane. How are you guys today?
Great. Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday.
We made it.
Yes. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for a little bit of time. I so appreciate you both to come on and share a little bit about what you guys do and what your community does. As I kind of stated in the intro, this is near and dear to my heart. I just got a little teary-eyed right before we came on, just talking to these two, because that was my story. My story was 20, and because of religious beliefs, my entire family disowned me. My entire religion and all of my friends disowned me. And I was by myself. I was all by myself, and I didn't know where to go or where to turn. And I struggled so much eating beans and rice forever, and eviction notices on my apartment door, and my car getting repoed out of the parking lot. It was a very traumatic time in my life, early motherhood. And I'm so excited to have you both here to share that there's a different way of doing it. There's a community there to help mentally. I mean, who knows what kind of postpartum I was going through. I did feel like throwing my baby in the garbage all the time. So I'm excited to have you guys both here.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for having us. And, I think, Sabrina, something that you're talking about too, those intrusive thoughts that women can go through, that's something that is actually fairly common. And we'll talk a little bit more about our services today. But, for women who are experiencing those intrusive thoughts, particularly in the postpartum period, it's okay to reach out for help, and that's part of why Healthy Mothers, Healthy Babies exists, is that we're here to be a resource for those pregnant women and for those women who are in the postpartum period that might need some of that emotional support.
Awesome. So the first thing I'd like to do before we get started is just kind of have you both introduce yourselves. That's cool.
Yeah, definitely. So good morning, everyone. My name is Jan Bogey, and I am a licensed mental health counselor here in Florida. I didn't start out here. I actually grew up just outside Chicago and went to graduate school in Pennsylvania, but have landed here in Florida. And most of my background is in maternal mental health and also in infant mental health. And I work at Healthy Mothers, Healthy Babies as their clinical director, and have been with this agency for about 5 years, but have been doing maternal mental health and infant mental health really for the last 15 years or so.
Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Anitra Moss, and I am the Director of Outreach Education at Healthy Mothers, Healthy Babies. A little bit about me is I am a Floridian. I was born right here in Palm Beach County, born and raised, went to local high schools, left for my college and went to school in Alabama, came back received my master's here at PBA in mental health counseling. I've been with Healthy Mothers, Healthy Babies. I was thinking about it, as Jan just said it. March will be my 9-year anniversary at Healthy Mothers, Healthy Babies. So that's great when you feel you're working at an agency and you don't even feel like it's been that many years, because we actually love what we do. We love serving the community. And I have the pleasure and the blessing of doing that every day, connecting with the community in different levels. So that's a little bit about me.
Yes, yes. And then where is, I know it's in South Florida, but where in South, what county?
Yeah, so we serve primarily Palm Beach County. We have two physical offices. One is in Green Acres and the other one is in Belle Glade. And then part of what we do also is we do also have a mobile pantry that kind of goes out into the community, into some other areas as well. But our main sort of sites, if you will, are in Green Acres and in Belle Glade.
Very cool.
Just want to add, but that we, just because our site is there, we, Healthy Mothers, Healthy Babies, we cover all of Palm Beach County. So if you live in Palm Beach County, you're eligible to receive our services. You just have to be pregnant and a resident of Palm Beach County to receive our services.
Awesome. Awesome. Very cool. So the first thing I'd like to do, obviously, after the introduction is kind of notate who well, you actually just kind of said it, Anitra, you know, who you have to be pregnant and live in Palm Beach County. But I guess that answers the question. Who's the podcast for? It's for individuals who are pregnant. What about daddies? Are daddies allowed to come?
Correct. So our services are for pregnant in Palm Beach County, but our information is for everyone. So we want everyone in Palm Beach County to know about Healthy Mothers, Healthy Babies and the services we provide. So some people think, oh, just because I'm not having children anymore, or I'm not in childbearing years, I really don't need to know about that service. But as we were talking earlier, Sabrina, that we're a community. So even you might be a community of your family, you might be a community of your friends. So you might have friends that are in childbearing in years and going through some of the things that you shared earlier. And we want you to know about Healthy Mothers, Healthy Babies, so you can share the services that we have. Just because you might not be pregnant or you're done with children, we want you to be an advocate for us and our agency and our services.
And we do have several programs also that will target in the postpartum period. So, you know, we do have support groups where we encourage women with babies up to 2 years old to come join a support group if they need help. And dads are obviously always welcome to attend those as well. Or, you know, the other caregivers that are involved in that mom's life. You know, so a lot of times it's her own mother. She's welcome to come to support groups. And you know, also for, like Anitra's talking about, the women who maybe they're in between pregnancies. You know, they can reach out to us as well. We have support services, we have classes, we have education, things that women who aren't necessarily just pregnant can benefit from.
Beautiful.
And we reach the dads. We want the dads to know about us as well. So we go to the barbershops, or we go wherever dads are, and we educate about Healthy Mothers, Healthy Babies as well.
Very cool. Very cool. Because I think that at least for me, I'm not trying to project this on anybody else, but I kind of had a viewpoint that places like this are for single moms without a dad. Like, how dare you ask for help when there is, you know, when I first got pregnant, his father was still fairly active for probably the first 3 months of my pregnancy before everything kind of went haywire. And then there's just kind of like, you know, so struggling in those 3 months, mentally, emotionally, financially. However, you know, I don't know what I was exactly thinking back then, but I am thinking that, you know, there are women who are single without any assistance from a dad or from the father. So a place like that wouldn't be appropriate for me to visit. So I so appreciate you mentioning, like, hey, doesn't matter. Moms, dads, both together. You're welcome to step on in and see what you guys have to offer. Because I think there's just a misconception. I think that we just don't know.
Yeah, I think that sometimes also it's easy to say, like, oh, you know, that place looks like something that's only for a certain sector or a certain population. Whereas, you know, for services with us, none of that really applies. We can help women who, you know, are of all different backgrounds, all different SES, all different cities, if you will. Palm Beach County residency is required, but you don't have to be in a certain struggle or in a certain way in order for us to assist, or in order for us to jump in and assess what we can do to make things easier.
Yeah. Why do you think I never knew about a community like this in my area? Where do you think, or where do you see that there's a disconnect?
Well, you kind of said it in the beginning when you were saying that you thought you had to have the father, you couldn't go because the father was in the life of the child. So that's one of the things that we want to make sure that the community understands, and we're very grateful for platforms like this to be able to get the message out. Like Jan said, we are here to serve you. Our primary goal is to make sure that you go to the doctor early. What is early? Within your first trimester. We want to make sure that you go to the doctor consistently throughout your pregnancy. So that means all during your pregnancy, we want to make sure that you keep your doctor's appointment. So if you're having trouble with your provider, or you're having trouble with insurance, or you're having trouble finding a way to pay for that care, we have services that'll help you to assist you to get that. One of the things that we definitely want to make sure that we highlight on is that we know toxic stress, and we know the stress of just life happens while you're pregnant. And so we want moms to understand, and families, that mom is carrying that baby. So we try to, at Healthy Mothers, Healthy Babies, think of those barriers, how we can eliminate those barriers so that the mom have a healthy baby. So the disconnect sometimes is coming in, just like you just said, oh, I thought I had the father, or I thought just because I was living in a certain area, I wasn't eligible to these services. So that's why we keep it simple. And we just say, if you're pregnant and you're a resident in Palm Beach County, come in and talk to us and let us tell you what you're eligible for.
Beautiful, beautiful. That makes it simple. That
Yeah,
makes it.
and I think too, the real sort of special thing about Palm Beach County, in particular, in terms of like reaching women who maybe potentially are isolated, or not out in the community as much as others, is that we have a healthy beginning system here in Palm Beach County, which is funded by the Children's Services Council. And as part of that, it's really a passion. It's a centralized way where we are helping women who are pregnant, and we're helping children birth to 5. That's what our system really serves. And so as part of that, we can really work within that to get these women sort of, what they need. And we want them to be well, and to not be afraid to get the help that they may need, or maybe they don't need, but just a conversation is enough,
Exactly.
So whatever it is that they need, we want to be able to provide that.
Exactly. And I go ahead, Anitra.
I'm glad that Jan said conversation, because
Yes.
In the community, I work a lot with the community, and that's what myself and my team use a lot, is say, come in and have a conversation with us. So we try not to use the words like intake and different things like that, because actually that's what our staff does. We have an amazing staff at Healthy Mothers, Healthy Babies, where you sit down and you actually do have a conversation with them, and you're able to be vulnerable with them and tell them what's going on. And then, like Jan said, we have a great system of care here in Palm Beach County called the Healthy Beginning System. And then they connect you with those services that you might be eligible for.
100%. What sort of things does Healthy Mothers, Healthy Babies actually provide? Can you tell us like what they actually?
Yeah, what might be helpful here, Sabrina, is if you could bring up the slides. There's sort of like a list. I think it's the next PowerPoint. Yeah. So you can see we have several different programs. And one of the most interesting and unique things about Healthy Mothers, Healthy Babies is that we're always sort of evolving to address the needs, right, that we see. But one of our primary ways that we really are able to help so many women a year, as you mentioned, we do have a touch point with about 10,000 women a year, is through our prenatal screening program. And so what that is in the state of Florida, there's something called Healthy Start. And as part of being a Healthy Start provider, you can offer what's called the prenatal risk screen. So for those of you who are listening, you may have gone to your OB the first time, and you may have filled out a brief little questionnaire that asks some pretty personal questions. And it was really trying to get at what types of services do you need? In Palm Beach County, Healthy Mothers, Healthy Babies actually receives all of those. So we reach out to all the women who consent for us to reach out to them. And that's our prenatal screening program. And these are women who are especially trained to talk to people about the results of that. Hey, here's what your risk score was. Here's what we can offer to you. And so that's sort of like our main way that we're able to really interact with so many different women.
Very
Yes.
cool.
So we also have outreach education. So that's one of the things that we do. We go out in the community and we connect and we create a physical presence in the community. And we really target those areas where statistically there are high risk for poor birth outcomes. So we have zip codes that are identified within the community that we pretty much target to make sure to get our message out of Healthy Mothers, Healthy Babies and all the available services to the community. And we also look for creative ways to do that. So it might look like we might have a tea, or we might, set up a spot at a local supermarket, or we connect with those community stakeholders within those different zip codes that the community trusts, that they could say, oh, you can trust this agency. And then we also provide referrals to Healthy Mothers, Healthy Babies from the community, from those women that we link within the community. So that's one of the entryways that you can come in if you don't come in through the prenatal screening program. Our outreach educator can refer you to our services. We also have our community liaison. Like we said, we really try to get the message out, but they are strategically targeting all the OBs in Palm Beach County. We work with around 200 OBs in Palm Beach County. So they go out, work with all the obstetricians. They train them on the Healthy Start that Jan was talking about. So they train them on the prenatal risk screen. They really encourage them to work with their clients to consent to the prenatal risk screen. Like Jan said, we get that only if the mom consents. So it's very important that the mom hit that box, that check that yes, that she wants to at least hear about the services at Healthy Mothers, Healthy Babies.
And then sort of like from those risk screens, if a woman says, yeah, I want to come in, I want to talk further, then they would be scheduled with the fourth program you see here, our prenatal care coordination team. And these are just fabulous, fabulous coordinators who know everything about everything. And that woman would meet with the prenatal care coordinator for a one-on-one appointment. It's her choice if she wants a partner to be involved in that. And this is where we do a little bit further in depth. So, this is where we're screening for things like trauma, where we're screening for things like depression, where we're screening for things like basic needs and, what's going on in the pregnancy and what we can do to really connect these women. And from there, we may refer them on to one of those Healthy Beginnings programs, such as, an educational component like a nurse or Healthy Families. We also have a trauma-based program called Child First. We also have traditional counseling. So, we can, that our prenatal care coordination team, they're the ones who are going to do sort of that one-on-one with the mom and be getting a little bit more information.
That's awesome. When hearing both of you guys speak about this, I am realizing that possibly there is a misstep also because people aren't used to getting things for free. So it almost sounds like, listening to all this stuff, it's like, how is that even free? And being so young, a lot of this stuff is coming from people who are young and just naive. There could be possibly even just a hesitation because they're afraid that it is going to cost something and they have no money,
Yes. You're absolutely correct, Sabrina. It's easy to hear, wow, all those services, and think, I wonder what that costs, or to just immediately sort of filter themselves out, like, oh, I could never afford that. But yeah, all of the services that we're talking about today, totally free, completely free of charge.
And the benefit, the reason why it's free, like Jan talked about, was Children's Services Council. So Palm Beach County, they really, really want to invest in, like Jan said, that critical age of, birth to 5. So we have a special tax here that the Palm Beach County residents voted yes to say we want a percentage of our taxes to go to the Children's Services Council so that we can provide services like this, so that our children are born healthy, they're born safe, they're born strong. So that's the reason why we can say that these services are at no cost to you.
Wow.
We really want to say that they're no cost to you because they are no cost to you, but the Palm Beach County residents are actually investing in the children of Palm Beach County.
Wow. Wow. I love that you're putting it that way, because that is actually what it is. Wow, that actually kind of warmed my heart. Thank you for
Yeah.
saying that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the money does come from somewhere.
Right. And we're also very blessed to have the support of lots of grants and foundations as well to support some other programming. So we're pretty blessed in a sense in order to be able to offer these services free of cost. And the one of the programs listed here, the Centering Pregnancy Program, I always say I wish I had known about this when I was pregnant, because I would have signed myself up. So Centering Pregnancy is actually an evidence-based group prenatal care program. So this is where women who are due at about the same time, they all are in a group together, and they go through sort of like that traditional OB schedule throughout the pregnancy, and then the 6-week checkup. They go together to a group, and they learn how to do things on their own. They learn how to do their own, urine test. They learn how to do their own blood pressure, and they get a 2-hour session at each of these appointments with one of our health facilitators who's specially trained again to be providing this service. And then their OB provider is there too. So this is very different than your traditional OB where you might go see your doctor for 5 minutes and then you're out the door, right? This is where you're really learning about your body. You're learning about your fetal development. You're learning about your pregnancy. And then you, of course, get the added bonus of you have other women who are going through it at the same time as you. I know that when I was pregnant, I had, some really odd questions about like, well, what is going to happen if I truly eat this deli meat with nitrites, right? Like these are the things that sort of come up. You may not always get time to ask your doctor, but in a setting like this, you may be able to. And then when, something you were saying earlier, Sabrina, about, being young, so one of our programs, this CAPS and Cribs Teen Mom Mentoring Program, this is a program that we have that is truly designed for our teen moms who are enrolled in a Palm Beach County school. They get matched with a mentor who sees them and helps them through their pregnancy, whether they're pregnant or they're parenting, can go to their school, can speak with them on the phone, whatever it looks like for that match, and sticks with this mom until she graduates from high school, because we want our young moms to be able to be successful as well. So that's, just a little bit more about
how would somebody, we have quite a few people here listening live right now who may or may not need this program, but maybe are listening for somebody else. How would somebody sign up to be a mentor?
Oh, that is a wonderful question. So they can go on our website. There's actually on programs, if they go to Caps and Cribs, they'll see the mentor application listed there. And they'll also see the names of our 2 coordinators, Sam Alvarez and Jennifer Silliman, and they can directly email or call them. Jen and Sam offer mentor training a few times a year for those women who are interested in helping out.
Awesome. Thank you for that.